we have now reached some very interesting times. And according to multiple reports, in just 48 hours, we are going to have some massive changes. Today's video, I'm going to address what those changes are going to be, how this is impacted because of the recent events in Israel, and what is coming forward for the American people. So make sure you stick around for this entire video, and I'll explain exactly what is about to happen. So let's get right down to it. First, what has happened in Israel recently? And these reports of attacks between Israel and the Palestinian people, or really Hamas. What's being talked about now is that the United States government has to do whatever they can to support Israel, which is a non-NATO ally. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, well, you need to talk about what Israel has done to the Palestinian people. You need to talk about why this war is going on. And, yeah, we can do that, and I will address that in the future. But for right now, let's talk about what is happening here in the United States. Because what is about to happen in the next 48 hours on Wednesday, we now have reports that because of what is going on in Israel, we are going to have a vote for the new Speaker of the House come Wednesday. On Wednesday, that is when the House of Representatives is going to vote between Representative Jordan and Representative Scalise. Those are the two that are up for this election. Okay, we even heard from former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, and he says that he would return as the Speaker of the House if he was chosen. He said, whatever the conferences want, I will do. He also went on to state that, again, he made some concessions early on, and those are concessions that the next House Representative or the next the House Speaker is not going to make. It's not going to take just one person to oust the Speaker. It would take more. Now, here's what I can tell you. Because of all the stuff that's happening right now, we are now hearing that the new Speaker is going to have to bring in, not just their caucus, they have to bring in the bipartisan bills to provide funding for Ukraine and for Israel. Now, with that said, we've also seen multiple reports recently, just over the past really 6 to 10 hours, that we are now hearing that NATO weaponry has been used to attack Israel. This can and may not include U.S. equipment. Okay? Just want to be very clear on that. Because I got a lot of reports, got a lot of people saying that we can't keep sending money to Ukraine. We can't keep sending weapons and munition to Ukraine because if it gets into the hands of the wrong people or Ukraine sells it on the black market, then we may be giving this equipment to somebody that doesn't need it or should not have it. Now, with that said, there are reports that, again, this is NATO equipment, not necessarily U.S. equipment. Okay? I just want to be very clear. There's a difference there. Yes, there's a chance that the United States gave, weapons to Ukraine. That Ukraine, that weapon could have been taken by Russia, could have been sold on the black market, could have been, stolen, and could have gone to landed in the wrong hands. Potentially landed in the hands of, people of Hamas, and they could have used that against Israel. So again, there's a lot of discussions here, a lot of reports, a lot of new updates. But again, it's still early. We do not know. But because of that one thing, some Republican lawmakers are saying we cannot send more money to Ukraine, or we cannot send additional weaponry. So that is one of the big talking points right now amongst lawmakers, is we have to send more help to Ukraine and now Israel. Now, one of the questions I've been getting a lot over the past day is, how is this going to impact us? Well, I talked a little bit about this morning, and I addressed the fact that if this turns into a more regional war and not just very specific to just Israel and the Palestinian people, The problem is it's going to impact oil prices. Oil prices are likely going to spike. Now, I read a report earlier on today that stated that when former President Donald Trump was in office, we didn't have these issues. And even the early on with President Biden, we didn't have these issues. But why do we start to receive or get all these problems and the potential war now that President Biden's in charge? Well, according to this report, one of the main reasons why this is happening is because when the Biden administration decided to not produce more oil, and we're going to import it, right? We're going to get oil from other people, other countries. By doing that, what happened was oil, especially let's say in Iran, in Afghanistan, they couldn't do much. They were broke. Even in Russia, they were broke. Yes, they had a lot of oil, but oil wasn't selling it, $90 to $100 a barrel. So because of that, when oil was selling for $60 to $70 a barrel, they were broke. Those countries were broke. They couldn't afford, all this equipment. They couldn't afford, to have any type of nuclear equipment. They couldn't afford any of this stuff. They were broke. But when the Biden administration decided to pretty much block us here within the United States from being able to produce our own oil, and we had to rely on other countries, that's where the price of oil started to go up. And as we started to, again, consume it even more, the demand was higher. As that all happened, the price went up. And now we're giving these other countries more money per barrel of oil. Guess what? They stockpiled that money. They had money. Now they could afford to have a war, to attack another country, to invade another country. That was possible. But again, this is why having a Speaker of the House, this is something that is imperative. We need this. And it needs to happen as soon as possible. Just the reports out today state we're going to have to wait 48 hours because on Wednesday, that's when the House of Representatives is going to have a vote. So, just to be clear, we do have a temporary speaker just filling in until a new speaker is chosen. And hopefully that will be on Wednesday or hopefully sometime this week. Because we do know that some of the big priorities right now, yes, number one, we need a government funding bill. However, that is actually getting pushed back. And according to recent reports, the government funding bill is not taking precedence. The first thing that is being prioritized is funding for Israel, then funding for Ukraine, and then funding for the U.S. government. So yes, 2 other countries are now being prioritized over our own. But there is a chance we could see this the government funding bill, Ukraine funding, and funding for Israel, and potentially additional weapons. All that could be pretty much lumped together, and they can pass it as a large bill. So we're going to see what happens there. But the one thing I can tell you is within the next 48 hours, we are supposed to have answers. And as we get these answers, I promise I'll come to you. I will bring you all the latest news and updates. But that is what we know as of right now. That yes, Israel is still under attack. The U.S. government is planning on sending aid to them. Also sending additional aid to Ukraine. There is a chance that some weapons that we sent to Ukraine or NATO sent to Ukraine were taken and used to attack Israel. We don't know as to what kind of weapons or how many, but that is what the report is as of this morning. And also, we do know that the new speaker, their first task is to send additional aid to these countries. So, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Do you think the American people should be prioritized first? Or do you think it should be prioritized based off of the issue at hand? And being that we have until November 17th, the American people and the government funding bill could potentially wait. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing. And I'll see you guys on the next one.